Okay, so this is a weird one. We have a brand new DLC upcoming for Jurassic World Evolution 3, and people might be super excited, or like me, pretty bummed. Now, this is going to be a very weird video. It's not going to be the typical kind of hype announce, look at all what we got. You know, I'm not the Jurassic expert, and I will not be pixel peeping at any potential news. I have been part of a behind the scenes introduction to this DLC. And while it is pretty impressive visually, I have a lot of issues with this. And I am just going to say right away, these issues have nothing to do with the outstanding quality of the DLC. Just for a bit of context. So this DLC is obviously going to be a very, very tight DLC, very close to the Rebirth movie. And it's going to feature all of the creatures, either as new features or as variants in the existing ones. And it's going to be coming already next week, the 16th of June. It has some very impressive animals in there and has some really cool campaign additions. There are going to be various maps, and you will be able to play all these maps simultaneously, which is a new thing to it. However, I mean, I have not really been a fan of the movie, and I have also never been a fan of these very heavily IP-based updates. Now this one, I think, really brings it to a limit that I'm really like, okay, either you love it or you hate it. Because I can appreciate the amount of work that has gone into it, absolutely, because there's some really good stuff we're going to talk about in there as well. And you can really tell that Frontier has tried their very best, and maybe this is also part of the delays and stuff that we have experienced, but they have tried their very best at bringing enough stuff in for people who are absolutely not into this movie. And I do respect them a lot for that. It still goes to show that the strict, maybe guidance from Universal at this point, making sure this theme kind of secures what the movie should have done, I don't know, is going to go in here. I have my big issue with this because instead of going into a more prehistoric kingdom, planet-ish game direction for this game, this is leaning a lot more heavily into the weird direction that the franchise is going with, like hybrids and actually, sorry, they're not called hybrids anymore. These are mutants right now to make it feel more natural. You can see I'm a little bit annoyed because I really don't follow the idea where the franchise is going. And I was pretty happy that Jurassic World Evolution 3 didn't have anything from the new movie or the new direction in it. And I was kind of hoping that this would continue to go this direction, which it clearly isn't. And this is what really annoys me about this one. What I do understand is that Frontier obviously needed to do a lot of things in preparation for this DLC, so this is why we get the semi-aquatic behavior for the T-Rex, this is why we get a couple of tour editions, you know, the tour via the aviary or so, if you want to do some scenes from the movie, whatnot, even though I'm not entirely sure if that was even in, I mean, there is no aviary, but it's like a very welcome addition to it if you wanted to. We get a couple new variants, like the Quetzalcoatlus, which is really, really, really damn good looking, as you've seen on screen. And the pieces seem to be really cool as well, because they have gone through that like engine style. The DLC is set during the time where Jurassic World is actually thriving and buzzing. So this DLC is not set during the time period of the movie, which at least is a good thing, because this is at the time where they have been at their peak of arrogance and feeling like they could do everything they wanted. And here's exactly where my issue is. This is the direction that the movie wanted to go, and this is rewriting a lot of the canon of the Jurassic franchise. It's rewriting a lot of the ideas, and while I was still pretty okay with the Indominus Rex, which is still something I could have seen happening, this is going way too far from my understanding. And I dislike this for the game itself because of the direction that Jurassic World Evolution 3 has taken, by being a lot more natural, giving us the opportunity to build some really cool, I want to say prehistoric parks with our favorite Jurassic animals. And that's what they are not anymore. These are not animals. These are weird created monsters, in my opinion. So please don't get me wrong, this is my opinion. And it's a very weird video to make, because this DLC quality-wise, for those who are into it, is pretty amazing. That's a whole lot of content, a really cool scenario in. It looks fantastic. The new open aviaries are fantastic, which I definitely want to talk about real quick. This is one of the big wins for me personally from this DLC. There is going to be a new type of habitat, which is the open aviary. It's kind of a, you can see that with that bluish kind of force field outline. If it's powered, it kind of creates a way bigger and way more open, spacious, invisible, almost like null fence habitat for flying animals or flying reptiles, I should say, which is done for the Mutadon, or is that thing called Mutadon? I guess it is. You know, and as you can see, I'm really not too much into that. I'm a little bit confused what I should say about this DLC. For every single one of you who loves this movie, or actually who can deal with the movie and finds this a good direction, this is a phenomenal DLC. I yet have to wait for actually being able to play it myself to rate the amount and the quality of scenery items. Maybe I will also then give a bit more approval for those who don't really like it. And I must say there are also some cool animals in there nevertheless, you know. I'm okay with the T-Rex variant. I like that actually. I'm very okay with the Spinosaurus variant. This is one of the few ones, including the Mosasaur. These variants I do like quite a lot because I do favor these designs over the other ones. That little one over here I'm also fine with, you know, even though that looks kind of hilarious when they're released into the habitat via via the normal station, because I mean that looks incredibly small in comparison. It's almost like as if you release a meerkat via the hatchery. It looks kind of hilarious, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not willing to, again, go into a deep analysis. It all looks stellar. This is the current version of what Cobra can do, and we are all pleased by what Planet Zoo 2 has shown us these days. And equally amazing this looks in this game. Very impressive stuff, very impressive presentation, very impressive new maps. I want to say the maps are also something positive. And somewhat what we can see of the scenery items so far is freaking amazing, really. But again, that all comes to a point like, do we like this? Do we like this direction where this is going? So I think it was obvious that at some point we are going to receive this DLC, and the amount of stuff that we are getting is fantastic. I'm just like, I never asked for that. Me personally, I never asked for monsters. I would have loved to get like an engine DLC at some point where you were able to explore all the old facilities, maybe Site B a little bit more with these experimental tanks and stuff like that. And yes, we know there were also some failed incubation results and so on that has happened there. But it was more like a failure of what they wanted to do as a normal state. This is perhaps something over here that just went totally wrong in a certain way. And I should also say we get some of the raptor variants of the movie. I almost forgot about those because they were, these little guys, they were played very bad with in the movie. They didn't do my beloved little raptors well in that movie. But yeah, again, as I said, I am, as you can tell maybe from my videos, I've been incredibly hyped these last days about Planet Zoo 2. And I am really loving Jurassic World Evolution 3. I would have just wished to get a more original Frontier-style DLC with a lot more opportunities for them to give us actual assets and features that would make the game a better game. You know what I mean? And while I love the amount of work and stuff that has gone into it, I don't think this DLC is making the game a better game. Only that one open aviary is pretty cool. The rest of it is, in terms of what the game will have in the future, it doesn't really change much of it. You know what I mean? That's where I want to end this video. I am very impressed by what Frontier has done over the time. The quality of their recent content is blowing me away, and at least this is giving me a big hope for what is coming for Planet Coaster 2 in about a week's time when we finally get a release to that one. Really looking forward to that. But this one over here, I still have a lot of question marks, and I will give you a full review as soon as I can, and I will then let you know what I think about this, getting it from a person who really doesn't like the movie at all, and who really doesn't need these animals from the movie and the style and stuff. But I mean, what about your opinion? What do you think? Did you like the movie? Are you pleased with this DLC maybe even? And again, this is just an opinion. I know that a lot of people will be pretty hyped about this. I'm not. And fair play, while I'm always, not always, but very often very hyped and positive toward things, I thought making this video, I thought about not making a video at all, but I thought maybe it's time to do a video like that to give you a bit of a different opinion, a bit of a different view. And maybe some people can agree with me, maybe some can't, that's fine. But let me know in the comments down below what you think about this DLC and where this is going. Thank you so much for watching, and I am fully aware that this is not going to blow up like potentially all the other people featuring this. But again, here you have my position. Thank you so much for watching nonetheless, and I talk to you in the next one.